What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Unbound Citizen here. Most of us know by now that there's been some shakeup over at T-Rex Arms, a big company, in my opinion, in the gun space, especially in like the YouTube, Instagram world. But in general, in the 2A community, the company has been pretty prominent. I say he, meaning Lucas. Most of us know by now that a couple days ago he stepped down from T-Rex Arms. In my opinion, I don't think anybody expected it. I think it kind of came from a consumer and an outsider standpoint. Kind of came out of left field. Nobody really knew anything like this was about to take place. And in my opinion, it was, or is, pretty sad. I don't know about you guys, but I've been following T-Rex Arms and specifically Lucas for probably, dude, it's 2025 now. 8 years, 10 years maybe. I believe he started in 14. I can remember for sure viewing his stuff in 18, but I want to say maybe even as far back as 16. So it goes without saying that the dude built a company. If you don't know his backstory, he started the company. It's well documented. He started the company with $100 worth of Kydex and an old toaster oven. Making holsters. So it's pretty incredible to see like what the company is now, up to his leaving. That's a pretty short amount of time for such a massive company that has had so much influence, and I think we could all agree, whether you like him or not. I personally don't mind Lucas and his demeanor. I like that he's outspoken and wears his beliefs on his sleeve. I think that's very transparent and courageous. Regardless of how you feel about him, though, he's had a profound impact on the 2A community and just the whole culture in general. I think that's undeniable to say. Everybody knows who he is if they're into guns whatsoever. So I think it's a big deal that the shakeup came. Let's see what his brother had to say about it a couple days ago when they released this on YouTube, kind of addressing the issue. Let's take a look real quick.
On Wednesday, May 28th, Lucas Botkin chose to resign from T-Rex Arms. Now, there are some limits to what I can say, but one of our core principles as a company is truth, and we desire to have as much transparency as possible with you. And so, to provide a little bit of backstory, for years there has been a lack of alignment, both personally and professionally, between Lucas and the other three owners, which has kind of grown over time. And then recently there was an incident that was the tipping point. A T-Rex team member sent inappropriate images to someone close to Lucas. Sadly, our initial response fell short of the principles that we profess and desire to hold ourselves to. Now, we have since resolved this issue, but it was a painful moment that contributed to Lucas's decision to leave the team. And Lucas leaving is also incredibly sad. He's not just my brother, but he's the founder of the company and someone with incredible creativity and drive. I really want what is best for Lucas in the future, and I'm excited to see him pursue that vision. But at the same time, I cannot overstate his impact in the past on T-Rex and the entire gun industry. However, T-Rex Arms is more than any one person. We are a company of nearly 100 team members today, people who have poured years of their lives into building this company for you, and our purpose remains the same: to serve you and the mission. Our principles and direction do not belong to any single individual. They belong to God alone. And so, we will keep pressing forwards, creating great educational content as well as we can, designing and manufacturing great life-saving tools, curating great...
All right, so he kind of, that's pretty vague, right? Like he says he can't say a whole lot, but pretty vague. From an outsider looking in that has no context to this and is literally just speculating, when you hear something like a T-Rex, what sounds to be, it's an employee is what it sounds like. When you hear that they sent inappropriate messages to somebody close to Lucas, you've got to assume, again, speculation. I know nothing to be fact. Your head immediately goes to somebody sent an inappropriate message to his wife, right? That's just a knee jerk, not knowing, and complete speculation that is immediately what your head goes to, is that something inappropriate got sent to his wife. Um, in my opinion, he says a T-Rex team member, and not a former team member. So again, speculating, you've got to assume, it's easy to assume that somebody sent his wife an inappropriate message. It got found out. The fact that it wasn't called a former team member tells me that whoever it wasn't terminated, and Lucas had a problem with it. Fair, right? I mean, it's his wife. Speculating. I actually didn't know he had a sister, but on another talking point, he apparently has a sister, so it could be a sister. It makes you think male sent an inappropriate image to a female that is close to him, right? Personally, I think it's very sad that he had to leave. I think it's sad that a founder of a company didn't feel supported enough to the point that he had to leave something that he built, and has clearly spent a large portion of his life basically obsessing about. I think it's sad that he had to leave. I think it's going to be a huge impact on T-Rex. I think a lot of people follow T-Rex, know about T-Rex because Lucas is the brand. He says in there that, that T-Rex isn't any one person's vision. I get it. They have a lot of employees, but dude, Lucas is the face of the brand. He's been in the content. He's built it from the ground up. He's controversial to some, loved by others. I think him wearing his beliefs and his morals on his sleeve, as controversial as they may be, for as many people as it turns away, I think it brings as many other people to him to be a lifelong fan. Love him or hate him, the dude is bold and says what's on his mind, and I think that takes a lot of courage. So the fact that he's standing up for his beliefs so far as to leave what has to be a multi-million-dollar company. If you've ever seen any of their videos on the Armory, there's a ton of inventory in their Armory. He's obviously doing very well, the company. To just walk away from that based on your beliefs is a very bold move, but honestly, I think it's a respectable one. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. I know today is June 3rd. I believe it was earlier today that Lucas actually posted on his, it was either his YouTube or his Instagram, that he was going to be addressing this topic and saying what happened out in the open as he deems fit and is ready to talk about it. I'm sure there's some, legal not conditions, but concerns that he's kind of being weary of. And dude, it wasn't that long ago that it happened. So, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happened. It's sad, and honestly, when I first found out about this, dude, it hit, because I've bought a lot of stuff from T-Rex Arms, from, range belts, inner outers. Dude, I own several of their holsters, sidecars, Raptors for different pistols. I've got a Ragnarok on my range belt. I've got a med pouch. I've got their TAPS rig. I've got a bunch of stuff from them because I believed in the company and what they stood for. And the fact that the owner, who is so outspoken about their beliefs, had to leave makes me hesitant to associate with the company now. And I want to see what happens before I choose to support that company again. Like, I liked Lucas. I still like Lucas. I say liked because he's not with T-Rex anymore. But it made me gravitate toward the company knowing so openly what they were about. I don't want to take away from anybody else that's there in what they believe in and the work that they put in. They're all obviously very hardworking. Everybody that I've ever seen an interview on or has had the privilege of touring or talking or working with them has said nothing but good things about them, but they're not as transparently present as Lucas was, outside of his brother here. His brother is in a lot of videos now too, and I like him from what I've seen about him, but it's still very sad to see that Lucas had to leave. I think it's going to be a big hit to T-Rex. I think it's going to alienate a lot of people, at least initially. Maybe they recover from it, maybe they don't. Either way, it's very sad to see. But I definitely look forward to seeing Lucas's side of the story and hopefully getting a lot more transparent story about what happened, so we can really get a visual on like what happened at T-Rex. You know, like, is the response justified? Should I alienate myself from T-Rex? Is that going to lead to the industry alienating themselves from T-Rex? Like, how's it going to go? It's all very interesting. Dude, I feel like the gun community has just got a lot of stuff going on in the past couple weeks. But let me know what you think down in the comments. As far as I know, there's no more information out about it. It's sad, but we're going to see what happens. I know Lucas is probably going to go on to do way more things. So I wish him the best. You know, it's sad that T-Rex lost him. T-Rex, in my opinion, was the place that a prepared citizen could go and have a lot of trusted information, was very educational, obviously gave a lot to the 2A community and the gun industry as a whole, and you could trust, at least in my opinion, you could trust what they put out to be quality, and like you could buy with confidence. So it's sad to know that that might be compromised. With him being gone, their model may change. Who knows? Something to keep an eye on. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Tell me what you think happened. I'd love to get your side if you think something else happened, but just let me know. Alright, Unbound Citizen out. See ya.